What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of High Mythology, the show where we get higher than Hugin and Munin flying over Himdersfall Mountain and tell you guys silly stories from mythology and folklore.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's all Norse mythology. The last one might not have been. Yeah. Might have thrown some Lord of the Rings in there. No guarantees.
I wouldn't know.
Hey, that's The Witcher. Yeah.
I know Mordor.
Mordor.
That's the only one I know.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
The all-seeing eye.
That's it.
The all-seeing brown eye.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I like the movies.
Yeah, the movies are good. The books are good. It's all
sure
good.
They are.
Yeah.
I've not read them. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Sorry, we both just slammed a couple edibles. We're already getting sidetracked. Yeah, tonight we will be bringing you Norse Tales Volume 9.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, number 9 of the
We're
Sagas.
trekking through, man. We're almost to Ragnarok.
We're almost to Ragnarok. Yeah.
That was what I was going for.
Yeah. I mean, that's both the literal and figurative.
So we have the next 4 chapters.
The next?
In the sagas of the Norse mythology.
Oh, so we're doing 4.
4 of them.
4 sagas tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I already got some spoilers on one of the stories, and
you look forward to it?
yeah, it's just pretty much just, it's like the Loki fighting. It's just a diss match.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Just talking shit. Just a lot of shit talking.
Get ready for that.
Get ready for that.
But not in this chapter.
But not in this chapter. In this chapter, we will deal with Odin and Billing's daughter.
Yeah.
Old Bill Billings.
It's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, and
it's all just Odin talking, so.
It's all just Odin talking.
I'll say, Dustin, go ahead and take it away.
I guess I will there. Okay. Okay, here we go. A creaking bow. A burning flame. A yawning wolf. A croaking raven. A grunting wild boar. A tree with an arrow tied. A tree. A tree with shallow roots. Mounting waves. A boiling kettle. A flying arrow. A tide on the ebb. New ice. A coiled snake. A bride's pillow talk. A sword with a hairline. I just imagined a balding sword. A sword with a haircut. A playful bear. The son of a king. An ailing calf. A stubborn thrall. A witch's flattery. A fresh corpse. A chance encounter with your brother's murderer. A half-gutted horse. A racehorse. If he lames one leg, will be useless. No man should be such a fool as to trust these things. Also, those are all things I put in my anus.
A corpse.
Ooh, a corpse. A coiled snake. Not even a full-on coiled snake. He just...
A sword with a haircut.
fell right in there at that point after the sword with the haircut really just tore it up. A man should not trust a woman's word, and he should never rely on her promises. The hearts of women were turned on a whirling wheel and imbued with caprice.
Yeah, tell it like it is, asshole.
Yeah. To love a fickle woman is like this. Setting out over ice with a 2-year-old colt, unshod, restive and unbroken, or sailing a ship without a rudder in a storm. That's also one of my favorite hobbies. Were you drunk sailing? No, there's no rudder. Or hunting reindeer over slippery rocks with a pulled hamstring. But
isn't the most random shit?
I pulled a hammy. Hold on, reindeer. Hold on, Rudolph. Let no man mock. I will speak clearly, for I know them both. Men deceive women. The fairer our words, the falser our thoughts. We determine we undermine their common sense. A man who longs for a woman's love mouths soft words and brings gifts and praises her beauty. Sophistry work wonders. Let no man mock another because of this love. Time and time again, and time again, and then again one more time, the wise are fettered by beauty, and ache with love longing, while fools remain unmoved and free. Let no man mock another over what touches many men.
What's touching you?
Like the hole in a truck stop bathroom.
Nice.
Time and time again, and again, time and again, wise men have behaved like idiots in the name of some grand passion. Yeah. Each man must make his own best judge. Nothing is worse for a man who knows himself than a frustrated desire. Just go rub one out already, man. The high one cried, I'm the high one. Hoo-hoo. I learned for this for myself. I sat among the reeds, waiting for my love. I prize that woman as much as my own life. Much good it did me. I first saw Billing's daughter while she slept. Whoa.
Yeah.
She was dazzling as the sun. I thought the whole earth would become a wilderness unless I could lie with her. Come back after dark, Odin. If you want to win this woman, that was what she said. It would be the worst for us. If anyone found we were lovers. I hurried off, light-headed with desire, wholly taken in by her dulcet words. I was sure she would soon be mine, and mine again, and again mine. I came back after nightfall. All the warriors in the stronghold were awake, holding burning torches and waving blazing brands. I had followed a false trail. I would not be shaken. I would not be beaten off so easily. I came back at dawn, and all the warriors were asleep. What did I find? Nothing but a bitch that the fair woman had leased to her bed. What a bitch. Men should know that many a fine woman proves fickle when put to the test. I learned this when I wooed Bill's daughter with fair words. That treacherous lady responded with contempt, foul contempt and nothing else, not even scantly a hand job. And I am Odin. Look at my eye hole.
And that was chapter 1.
And that was Odin and Bill's daughter. And that was Odin and Billing's daughter. Odin and Bill's daughter.
Nice.
Nice, yep. So moving on. Yes. Moving on. We've got the story of Gylfi and Geffian. Gylfi?
I was going to call her Gifon.
Gifon?
Gifon.
Jiffin?
Like chiffon.
Chiffon. Gylfi and Chiffon. Giffion. Go ahead, Kimbo, and take it away.
It starts. Glyphy says.
You have treated me like a king.
The wizened beggar woman sat in her cocoon of filthy, reeking rags and listened. And Glyphy continued to say,
Our bed was only bare ground, and our roof was a whispering tree, and the litter of stars beyond, but all that you had to share, your scraps of food, your store of understanding, you willingly offered.
The beggar woman's eyes were deep wells, unfathomable and strangely gleaming. Glyphy continues to say,
You have treated me... Wrong. Odin? What is Odin doing here?
He says it again.
Yeah. You have treated me like a king, and now I want to tell you that I am the king.
The beggar woman looked at Gliffy without changing her expression. She sniffed. And Gliffy continued to say,
Just imagine a snort. Oh. As you shared with me, I will share with you. You're welcome to as much of Sweden as you can plow with 4 oxen in one day and one night.
Then the king and the beggar woman went their own ways. Gliffy found and followed a track out into the forest and came back to his court. The beggar woman, none other than the goddess Gifon, left Midgard and journeyed into Jotunheim. Gifon walked past cauldrons of mud and boiling springs. She worked her way around the base of the mountain and reached the secluded fertile valley. Secluded fertile valley. Wow.
The secluded fertile valley.
I was like, that does not make sense. No man lived there, but 4 huge oxen were grazing under the hot sun, the 4 sons of the goddess and a giant. Gifon took her sons and went back to Midgard and into the country of Sweden. She chose a piece of land very fine to look at and even better for farming, and yoked the 4 oxen to a massive plow. Now, the coulter bit was so deep that it began to loosen the crust of the earth.
Uh-oh.
And the oxen strained with every sinew and muscle and wrenched the mound away from the molten rock beneath.
Good thing they're so yoked.
Gifon laughed as her 4 sons dragged off a great piece of land, and the oxen slowly made their way westward. They reeked with sweat, and the goddess urged them on, and they waded into the sea, still hauling the land behind them, until at last they stopped in the middle of the sound. And Gifon said, "Leave it here. Let it lie here until the end of the world." She unyoked the oxen from the plow, and with the oxen with the eyes like moons, and not like their mother, the goddess said, "And let this fertile land be known as Zealand." And so Gifon repaid Gliffy's generosity by looting his land. That which made Denmark larger made Sweden smaller. Water oozed from the earth and fell from the sky into the gaping wound where the land had been ripped up, and it became a lake. Men call it Malar. And that is why the headlands of Zealand fit the inlands and the bays and the brights of Lake Malar.
Oh, shit. We got an Old Zealand reference there. Not New Zealand, Old Zealand.
Old Zealand is right by Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
It's between
Denmark and Sweden.
It is literally a piece of land that popped off of.
I'm sad I didn't realize he was from Sweden in the beginning. I would have given him an over-the-top Sweden accent. You have treated me like a king, and now I want to tell you that I am the king there. Fabulous.
Well, we're on to story 3 already.
Yeah.
I know, they're little short ones. This one's a bit longer, don't worry.
As you shared with me, I will share with you too. You're welcome to as much of Sweden as you can plow with the 4 oxen in the one night.
Oh, yay.
Oh, yay. Yeah, so we're moving on now to story 3, The Lay of Harbard.
Harbard.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
And for those who have watched Vikings, that's that dude that sleeps with the bitch.
Yeah, that's the guy that goes and bangs Ragnar's wife.
He's a lover.
He's the lover. I am a lover.
Pretty much, yeah. Anyway. A rank of mountains stood behind Thor. Some were like upturned ships, and some were unfinished pyramids and monstrous cones with their tops shone off. And none of them were smiling.
Oh, was
very sad.
We're dead and we're tapless.
Thor strode west over the tundra, and the sun kept pace with him. Then late in the morning, he left the wilderness behind and hurried across scrub and undaunting land. And so he came into a sound, a swift, deep channel. The air was utterly still there, and the sun placed a dazzling hand on the water, and the water seemed barely to move it as it moved. On the far bank, a figure sprawled in the midday sun, and his flat-bottomed boat lounged beside him. Thor bawled, and the water quivered.
Thor pulled out his testicles, and the water quivered. Hey, you over there. Are you the ferryman?
The figure stirred and sat up, and he cupped his hands and said,
Who is this oaf over there yelling over the water?
Thor calls,
Ferry me across. I will pay you well for this. Bana.
Thor eased his thumbs under the shoulder straps and says,
I picked out a fine fare, and I've eaten as much as I can already. I've had guts of herrings and a pool of porridge before I set out.
The ferryman slowly got to his feet and pulled his hat well down over his head. He said,
You're pleased with yourself, aren't you? Ah, if only you knew what lies in store for you. When you're near home, you'll hear nothing but moans. Your mother is a hamster. And a dead one.
Thor cries.
My mother is dead?
He shrews up his eyes, and he screws up his whole face. I continues to say.
Shrews up. What grief could be greater?
Having alarmed and upset the credulous Thor, the ferryman began to insult him, saying,
Oh, barefoot, beggars' clothes, not even breeches. I don't even have a place you call your own.
Thor roared.
Bring over your boat. No need to be afraid. I'll guide you in. Anyhow, whose ferry is that?
Now the ferryman took his time. He turned his back on Thor to taunt him and smiled grimly.
Oh, look at my buttocks.
Thor repeated.
Bring over your boat. Bring over your boat. No need to be afraid. I'll guide you. Oh, no. Whose ferry is that?
The ferryman replies.
Hildolf the slaughtering wolf entrusted to me. He's a wise man. He lives on Rathi, the Isle of Cancel. And he has given my orders. No pilfers, no horse thieves, only worthy men and well-known faces. And you are not worthy or well-known. So if you want to cross here, tell me your name, big dog.
Sure, Thor shouts.
I'll tell you, though I stand alone. I am Odin's son. I am Mili's brother. Magni's father. Strongest of the gods. You ferryman, you're talking to Thor.
The god's words made waves on the sound, and they ran straight across the channel and broke off at the ferryman's feet.
I like the way your waves tickle my feet, Thor.
Thor shouted.
And who are you? I'd like to know. Tell me your name, ferryman.
He replies.
Oh, well, my name is Halberd. I seldom hide it. Unlike you must hide your fat gut.
Thor says.
Why should you hide it? Or am I talking to an outlaw caught up in some feud?
The ferryman retorted.
What if you are? Unless I am fated, I can look after myself against the likes of you. But you have no boat.
Thor clenched his right fist, rubbed it against his beard, and stared at the cold water and said,
You're not worth the trouble of wading across this channel, getting soaked up to the waist. But I'll repay you, you knock-kneed ferryman, when I get across this sound.
Harbard put his hands on his hips and said,
Oh, well, here I will stand and here I will wait. You are not my equal since, You've not met my equal since you fought Hrungnir.
Thor says,
You want to talk about? You want me to put the hammer down? You want to talk about Hrungnir, do you? The laughing giant. Do you know his head was made of stone, and yet I killed him? I laid him out lifeless. You, Harbard, what are you doing meanwhile? What were you doing meanwhile?
Harbard says,
Well, first I fucked your mother before she died and was turned into a hamster. And then I spent 5 winters with...
And then I fucked her while she was a hamster.
And then I fucked her once more while she was a hamster. Spoiler alert, your hamster mother may still be inside of my body. I have spent 5 winters with Fornir on the island of Algron. There was plenty to do. There we fought. We sank our shafts into heroes. We sank our shafts into heroes and virgins alike. Lots of shaft sinking, balls deep sometimes even.
Thor rubbed his beard and said,
How did you win them, your women?
Harbard says,
They welcomed us with good grace, yes, high spirits. And then we were well advised to do so, for they could no more have escaped us than make ropes of sand or dig the bottoms out of valleys.
Harbard opened his arms and said,
I was the one they turned to first. I slept with 7 sisters, and each one gave me ecstasy. And you, Thor, what were you doing meanwhile while I was sleeping with the 7 sisters with your mother hamster in my butt?
Thor says,
I killed the fish giant Thorthi and hurled the eyes of Alvadi's son into scalding heaven. They bear witness to my feet. Anyone can see them. And you, Harbard, what were you doing meanwhile?
Harbard says,
Well, aside from fucking your mother all the time, I enticed the Night Riders from their husbands, huh? I wore Lovecraft with all those witches and then Giant Halberd. He was not made of straw. He gave me a magic branch, and I whipped the wits off of him, just like the wits have left you.
Thor calls,
So that's how you repay a generous gift.
The gray-bearded ferryman shrugged, and he shouts across the shining river.
I fought in your general direction. The oak grows strong on shavings from all sides, each man for himself. And you, Thor, what were you doing meanwhile?
Thor says,
I journeyed to Jotunheim. I slaughtered slovenly giant women as they shambled over the fells. If they were still alive, there would be a terrible throng of giants, and no men in Midgard. Albert, what were you doing meanwhile?
Harbard says,
Well, as I previously stated, I was fucking your mother. And also your wife. I had your mother inside me while I fucked your wife, Thor. I was the cause of war in Valen, the land of the slaughter. I set princesses on each other's throats. I thwarted peace.
Thor looked at the ferryman. He listened. His brows was creased in thought. And Harbard shouted,
After they'd fallen in fight, the nobly born journeyed to Odin. But when I kill somebody, I drop my testicles right on their forehead while they lay. Teabag. But Thor, he caters for a great gang of thralls. Uh-huh.
Thor retorts,
I've seen how even-handed you've been in your gifts to men, to the gods. Not that you've any say in the matter.
The ferryman jeered.
Oh, your limbs are strong, but your heart is faint. Such was your fear. You were glad enough once to crawl into a glove, and there you forgot your name, Thunderer. You were so scared Flyler might have heard you, that you don't care. Might hear that you did not dare fart or sneeze. Maybe a fart from your nose hole and a sneeze from your butthole.
Thor shouts,
You womanish ferryman. I'd swipe you straight down to hell if I could reach over this sound. Or felt like getting my bottom half wet, because as I've mentioned, I could easily walk over there.
Harbard says with a voice like oil.
Why bother? We have no quarrel. And you, Thor, what do you do? Did you do next, huh?
Thor says,
Away in the east, I patrolled the bank of Eving. Svagnar's sons tried their luck there.
Thor suddenly stooped and in one movement picked up a block of stone and hurled it over the sound. It whirled as if itself in the bank. It whirled as it flew. Wow, sorry. Harbard stepped hurriedly out of the way, and the boulder buried itself in the banks beside him. Thor yelled,
Like that, they threw boulders. Much good it did them. Then they begged for a truce. And you, Hobbit, what were you doing meanwhile?
Harbard says,
I was in the east too. I took your mother to a nice dinner and then I left her with the bill. A nice Chinese restaurant.
Okay.
And I came to a certain understanding. I turned the head of a linen white maid and we met in secret. I aroused that lady wearing gold ornaments and then I enjoyed her.
Thor says,
A woman well found.
Harbard calls.
I could have done with your help to hold the white maid down, eh?
Thor shouted eagerly.
That sounds like rape, but I probably would have gotten in on it.
Harbard says evenly.
And I'd have trusted you if you weren't known for breaking your promises.
Thor called. Oh, sorry.
How can I do a rape with a promise breaker?
Thor calls.
No, that's not true. I am no heel biter. Like an old leather shoe in spring.
Harbard says.
And Thor, what were you doing meanwhile?
Thor says.
I was on Helsley, the island of the sea god. I slew the brides of the berserks. They were depraved serpents.
Harbard says scathingly.
Thor, you brought shame upon your head, you lady killer serpent fucker.
Thor protests.
No, we only did hand stuff, over the pants hand stuff, and they were more like wolves than women. They attacked my well-trimmed ship, my well-trimmed pubic hair. Us with iron clubs. Alfie ran away. And you, Harbard, what were you doing?
Harbard says.
I was one of the hosts that came to Edgard's frontiers to raise our banners and redden our spears. Huh?
Thor says.
This is a sweet rhyme. Are you telling me that you meant to fight the gods?
The ferryman says mockingly.
I will give you a little penis ring, and then you will not fret. It will be a peacemaker between us, because you have a tiny pee-pee, so you only need a tiny ring.
Thor was enraged. He kicked at the bank, and a hailstorm of grit and pebbles ripped the silken water.
He knows I have a tiny
dick. He gripped
dick.
Mjolnir in his huge fist.
It looks so small in my huge fist, too.
And then he asked,
Where did you dredge up such filthy abuse? I've never heard so foul an insult.
Harbard.
Have you seen me naked or something?
Harbard says.
I learned it from men, age-old men who live in the hills of homes and the homes of hills.
Thor shook his head in anger and envy and said,
That is a fine name for borrows, hills of home.
Harbard says,
Well, that is what I call them. Do not go stealing my phrases, you phrase-stealing little bitch man.
Thor shouts.
And your sharp tongue will be the end of you if I choose to wade across this river. It still gets me that he can just walk across the river. Bring your boat. No, I don't want to. Well, I don't want to get wet.
I know. It's so funny.
You'll howl more loudly than a wolf if I hit you with this hammer.
Harbard replies all the more swiftly, saying,
Your wife is howling more than a wolf right now. She is doing some entertaining. She has a lover. Keep your strength for him. That would be more to the point.
Thor roared.
You witless fool! Shut your mouth and keep your stabbing tongue inside it. Or kiss me. I mean, you're a liar.
The ferryman paused, and with his one eye, peered into the shining water that stops for no man. He called,
I am no liar. I am telling the truth, Thor. Anyhow, how long you're taking to get home? You'd be well on your way by now if you had crossed in this boat I have here.
Thor shouted.
You womanish ferryman, you've kept me waiting much too long.
Thor paced up and down the banks of the Sound, now swinging round and changing direction, now glaring across the water like a caged animal. The ferryman watched him and said,
I never thought a mere ferryman could detain us, Thor. Well, that's Thor, but with an S in front of it, because you are an asshole.
Thor's eyes were blazing, and he gave great bellows that rang round the sky. Thor yelled,
Here's some advice. Row your boat straight over. Keep your mouth shut, and set down Magni's father on this far bank.
Harbard retorted,
Go away, you pig dog. I am not rowing you across.
Thor bent over the swift cold water. He saw himself in it, and then saw too how the ferryman had toyed with him, and how for once his strength was of no use to him. He lifted his head and thrust out his red beard. And Thor said,
If you won't ferry me over, at least tell me the way around.
Harbard replies,
No. Few words, but many miles. Overstuck and overstone. Take the track to the left until you come to Midgard. Then you will find your mother, who is a hamster, and she is covered in my puppies. Fjorgorn, she'll show you the way to the trembling rainbow that brings them into Asgard.
Thor asks,
Do you want me to put the hammer down? Can I get home today?
Harbard says,
Not with a gut like that. Walk fast, don't rest, and you might be back before the sunrise.
Thor says angrily.
We've talked long enough. You do nothing but mock me.
He turned and then looked back over his shoulder and said,
If we ever meet, I'll pay you in full for refusing me this ride.
Thor strode away, furious and scorned, and as he went, the jeering laugh of the ferryman followed him. And then Harbard's words.
Get lost, you. Let every evil being have you. Your mother is a hamster. Your father smells of elderberries. And I fart in your general direction.
I spit.
I spit. P. P. P.
The god quickened into the vast gray wasteland, and there was a sandstorm in the wilderness. The wind unwound in a long scarf leading into the lee of the Indigo Mountains. The end.
The end. just ripping on Thor though, and Thor just could have just walked across.
Anytime he could have even just.
It's way steep.
Walk over there.
I don't want to get my shoes wet.
No, now you're going to make it by sunrise instead.
Yeah, I'll go around. I really don't want to get these shoes wet. They don't have wet shoes for the rest of the day. Nothing ruins your day like wet shoes. If only it was Marvel's Thor, he could have just thrown his hammer and flown.
I know, right? If that was really a thing.
Yeah.
They upgraded him on that one. Way to go, Marvel.
Yeah.
Anyway. The last chapter.
On to our last story of the night. The Ballad of Svipdag.
Shipdog.
Shipdog.
That's what I call it.
Svipdag.
Svipdag.
Svipdag. The Ballad of Svipdag, yeah.
The ghastly, rotting smell rose towards him. The cold began to burn in him. The darkness reached up to him, and he drew near into the place as dreadful as the worst of fears, the worst of dreams. Even now he did not flinch or falter. Svipdag was swift and light. He reached the gates of Niflheim and far under the world, and he shouted,
Groa, wake, wise mother, I stand at the doors to the dead and call for you. Remember before you enter your burial, man? Remember how you told your son to ask for help?
Then the seeress, Groa, rose out of her grave and slowly moved to the gates of Niflheim. She said, Olaf, my son, what a death of life awaits you. What dire fate makes you call on me, who have left this quick world and lie in this mound? Svipdag says.
Oh, well, my father has married a very two-faced woman, and she is working against me now. She bids me to go where no man can safely go, and then and win the love of the Minglad. Mingled.
Groa says, Oh, that road is long, and the quest there will be long, but love lasts long too. You may achieve your aim if you fates favor you. So her son said,
Who are you standing there at the gates, Then sing strong charms over me, mother. Guard your son if you can. I fear death will ambush me, and I am still young. I would not like that.
Groa replies, "Oh, the first charm I'll sing is well proven. Ranny taught it to ring, strong off whatever sickens you. Depends on your own strength, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I will sing a second time. Then in case you are tempted to take the wrong path, the bolts of Erd will be railings to keep you on the right mode."
Oh, I like the Erd, but...
Yeah, get that right road.
Erd. The Erd puts me on the reared.
The third then I'll sing in case swollen rivers threaten you. The rivers Horn and Ruth will plunge into Niflheim, and the waters will part before you. I'll sing a fourth one, just in case. Just in case some enemies attack you along the gallows
fourth one, I'll
ways.
sing the ludicrous, the move bitch, get out the way to help expedite your journey.
No, we do the hit me baby one more time.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
We like the Whitney Spears.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So juicy, yeah.
And the Spice Girls.
Oh, the Spice Girls are so great.
No, I tell you what I want, what I really
Oh,
want.
and you'll tell me what you want, huh?
The fourth I sing just in case enemies attack you on the gallows way, yeah. Your wish will be their desire, and it'll take long enough for the peace. The fifth I'll sing just in case you're fetid and you have no freedom or movement. I sing a loosening spell over your thighs, and lock will spring apart, releasing your limbs. Chains will fall from your ankles, yeah.
Well, just keep that one away from my butthole there, right?
No, that one's going over too. It loosens everything up real nice,
I've
yeah.
pooped 6 times since she sung the loosening
You
spell
could
on my
stick a whole
butthole.
pineapple up there.
It won't fit. Hold on, let me sing a loosening song.
I got you. The sixth, I'll sing in case storms at sea go on the rampage and in the way no man can. Neither wind nor wave will harm you, and you'll have a fair passage.
Oh, fair passage.
Maybe a seventh one, yeah. I'll sing a 7 in case you freeze in the high Rocky Mountains. The fatal frost will get no grip on your flesh, and your body will be unharmed, eh?
Any more songs?
Yeah, I got an 8th one. I can sing.
I'm sing an 8th one.
I'll sing it just in case you've taken some dismal track in the darkness, so no curse from the dead Christian woman will ever harm you.
Jeez. Any more songs?
Yeah, you know what? I think I got a 9th one. Yeah, I got a 9th one. I'll sing that one in case you have a debate with some brute of a giant. Your head will be well stocked with the wits of your mouth and wise words. Ah, boy. Now take to the road with all of its hidden dangers, and let no evil work against your love. Carry your mother's spells with you, and keep them in your heart. You'll prosper for as long as my words live in you. Then Shipdog turned away from his dead mother, Groa, and the stone gates of Niflheim. He made his way back to Midgard, and began his search for Menglid through the 9 worlds. The road was long, and his quest for Menglid seemed longer. One day in Jotunheim, Svitdog came to a massive stronghold, girdled by flame and guarded by a giant. Svitdog shouted,
I hear you standing over there at the gate like that.
The giant retorted,
Ooh, what do you want? What are you looking for? And why are you on the road at all, Wanderer?
The giant looked no less unfriendly than he sounded.
Oh.
He dismissed Shipdog with a nod and struck a thumb over his shoulder and said, That's your
That's your way, anyhow. A deep path through the forest. There's no welcome for weaklings here.
Shipdog repeated.
Oh, who are you? Who are you standing in the gate there, turning away the travelers and such?
The giant replied,
I just told you. Were you not listening to anything I said? Nobody is going to welcome you with outstretched arms. You'd best go home. My name is Fjolsif Fajorstavid, and I'm known for my wisdom. Can tell that from how I said my name, but I don't throw food around. You'll never get a foothold in this hall. You leave as you've come, ravenous as a wolf.
Svitdog shook his head and said,
Well, still men there turn their backs when they're meant to set their eyes on their loved ones. The gates of the Golden Hall are gleaming, and I mean to make my home there.
Shvold, the giant asked.
Oh, who is your father and where is your ancestry? Did you get one of those 23andMe's?
Svitdog says,
Oh, well, my name is Vinglad. I am the son of Vorkeld, whose father was Vulcan. Wind, cold of the early spring, great cold. Those are what our names are. Now tell me this, Fjolfethid, and tell me truly, who sits in the high seat of the fine hall? Who is its owner?
The giant says,
Oh, her name is Manglad of the necklaces.
pearl necklaces.
We're out of the pearl necklaces, and her father was Fjolfethorin's son. She sits in the high seat of this handsome hole. She's its owner.
Svitdog says,
Now tell me this, Fjordskid, and tell me truly, what is this again called? It's even more unyielding than anything in the Asgard.
the giant says,
It's called Clang and Thimbergurgle. It was made by the three sons of the sun-blinded dwarf Solbindi. Whoever touches the ledge is at once trapped by it.
Svitdog said,
Oh, well, tell me this, Fjordskit. What's the name of the building here? It's even more massive than anything in the Asgard.
the giant said, and he smiled grimly.
Its name is Gastropnir.
Yep.
Yeah, the guest crusher. I made it myself a long while ago from the limbs of the clay giant Lieberminder. Lieberminder.
That giant clay thing.
That clay. And I braced it so firmly inside and out. And it will stand for as long as the world lasts.
Svitdog says,
Oh, well, tell me this now there, Fjordski kid. What is the tree called that spreads its limbs all over the world, sir?
the giant replies,
It's called Mimir's tree, Yggdrasil. No man alive has seen all its roots, and few can guess what will fill it. For neither axe nor fire will be its downfall.
These are actual word for word from the story, so don't think that I'm just fucking with you. I'm fought in your general dialect. Da-da-da-da. Who's just talking? Svitdog says,
Well, tell me this, Dindafirska kid. What issues from the seeds of this mighty tree that neither the axe nor the fire will fell?
the giant says,
Women in childbirth cook the fruit. Then the hidden child is delivered safely. That's why people esteem it.
Svitdog says,
Oh, well, what's the cook called? The one who that sits the topmost burrow adorned with the gleaming gold there.
the giant says,
He's called the tree snake Vidofnir. He illuminates Yggdrasil's limbs like lightning, and he brings nothing but sorrow to Thurt and his wife Simora.
Svitdog says,
Well, tell me this, then, the Fortuneer. What are the hounds called that prowl and snarl at the front of this stronghold?
giant says,
Tell you truthfully, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, another Gip and Jerry. They're huge already, and will grow more huge before the Ragnarok. But can no one help?
Svitdog.
Can no one help to get inside of this stronghold while these ravenous hounds are asleep, maybe?
The giant says,
They never sleep at the same time. That's why they were made hall wardens. One sleeps night, other sleeps day. and so no one can ever pass them unseen into the stronghold.
Spitdog says,
Well, if they're no meat, our man can throw it to them, and then they dart in while they are wolfing it down.
Schvoltzvig says,
Tell you the truth, the cook Vidofnir has 2 wings. That alone is the meat that a man can throw to them and dart in while they're wolfing it down.
Spitdog asks,
Well, what's the weapon with to dispatch this Vidofnir to the house of hell?
the giant says,
Boobies. That's the sword Leviathan, the wounding wand. Loki made it. He forged it with the runes at the gates of Niflheim. It lies in Legern's chest, guarded by 9 locks, and Sinmora watches over it.
Spitdog's ass.
Oh, well, I can a man there hope to steal the sword, maybe, and get away unscathed?
Schvokvshin says,
Fuck shit. A man can hope to steal the sword if he takes what few can win as a gift for Samora.
Spitdog demands,
Well, what kind of treasure there's a man should take to delight the giant goddess, gaunt giantess, you know?
the giant says,
In your pouch, take Beardamir's tail feather. Give it to Sinmora, and she'll give you Leviathan in return.
Spitdog asks,
What is the name of this hall girdled with the flickering magic flames there?
Schvokvshin says,
It's called Lear, the holder of heat. It will always quiver and shimmer. It's like a spear point. Boop. All men know this noble hall, and no hall more noble than this.
Spitdog says,
Oh, well, just not to ask too many questions there, friend, but which of the gods fashioned the great hall and which I see within the stronghold?
the giant says,
It was Loki, the fear of the folk, and he was helped by the dwarves, Uni, Eri, Bari, Jari, Var, Varkasil, Dori, Ori, and Daling.
Spitdog asks,
Oh, well, what's the mountain there called on which the lovely woman is reclining, but she should be recycling. Good for the environment, you know.
Voldsvig says,
It's called Lifterberg. Lifterberg. The hill of healing. And it will always be a source of comfort to the sick and the suffering. Every woman who climbs it will be cured, even if she has long been confined to her bed. How's she gonna climb the mountain?
I know. I wonder too.
Just get the catapult and launch the half-dead lady at the top of the mountain.
Spitdog asks,
Who are the maidens there that's smiling at sitting at Melgold's needs?
the giant says,
One is called Hilf, the MILF, and the other's called
Hithrasa.
Hiflathra, Throtvaga, and the shining Bjord, and Blick, and the white blade, Frid, Ear, and the God-giving Abdullah, Derba, Arboda.
Arboda.
Then there's the famous musician Bjork.
Spitdog says,
Well, then now tell me this, third-year-old kid. Do they all help those who make the offering and truly need succor?
the giant says,
They soon help all those who make offerings on the high altars. And if they see someone in danger, they will guard him.
Spitdog says,
They'll tell me this now, Fjordska, and tell me truly, is there any man who can help to sleep in the arms of the fair mingled?
the giant says,
No, no one can sleep in the arms of the fair mingled. And that man's fig dig. That woman who shines like the sun is destined to be his bride.
I'm sorry. You made
Shit,
it.
dog.
Hang on. I lost my spot because I was looking at your shit. Dun, 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 dun.
I'll throw back the gates there.
Dun, dun,
Open a
dun,
wide
dun.
gateway.
The wanderer cries.
Well, throw back the gates there, open the wide gateway, because I am none other than Dog.
He looked at Folchver elated and says,
Well, hurry up to mingle, then ask her to grant me my heart's desire.
The giant made his way to the green slope behind the stronghold and reached Mengled and her maidservants. He said,
Listen, a man has arrived at the stronghold, for whom you must come and see for yourself. The hounds are fawning over him, and the great gates burst open on their own accord. I think this man is Thipdog.
Menglad looked at Folsvig, and her heart beat as if it would burst out of her. She said in her low voice,
I swear to God, if you're lying and you make me put down my cigarette, my vodka tonic, get out of my own chair, then if you're lying, then fuck you.
her voice hardened and said,
It will not be long before greedy ravens peck out your goddamn eyes while you swing from the gallows tree. That's what I was getting at.
Menglad and her maidens and the giant Folsvig picked their way down their slope, and they crossed the stronghold to the main gateway. Menglad at once faced the wanderer. Wow, sorry.
Just open palmed his face, just a good slap.
I was like, wait.
Keep my wife's name.
Wow, he's down. He's down.
Calm down.
Anxiously, she asked.
Where have you come from? How did you get here? Who are your kinsmen call you? I must know your name. Tell me your whole ancestry. Have you had a reading lately? I know a friend who reads the tarot cards, and she could throw down some tarot cards and read yours. I need to see all of this before I can be sure I'm to be a bride. What's your sign?
Are you a Leo?
Are you a Leo? Do you mind a lady who chain smokes Virginia Slims and drinks vodka tonics during daytime TV?
As long as you sign like a song. Spitdog says.
Oh, well, I am Spitdog, the son of Silbert, and I have followed the wind-called ways of this place. No man could deny her, even though her gifts are unearned.
Mengled opens her arms, and she says,
Oh, Spitdog, you're more than welcome here. I've waited so long for you. I've had a longing. A kiss of welcome is yours, and I'll do that thing with my good arm that'll totally make you forget about the weird mole on my cheek.
And then she moves slowly towards the traveler, and she asked,
Is there any greater sweetness than the long-awaited meeting between a lover and a loved one? Hold on, let me spit on my hand.
Spitdog stretched out his arms towards Mengled. Mengled says,
Day after day, I've sat on this hill of healing, waiting for you, and now I have what I've always dreamed of.
Mengled and Spitdog stepped towards each other and touched, and Mengled said,
I'm like dry on the spit. Will you spit on my hand for me? We've yearned alike, and I've longed for you, and you've longed for my love. But now, and from now on, we know we will live to the end of our lives together. Oh, shit. I left a cigarette burning upstairs. I've really got to run.
All right, and that's it.
That's it.
Concludes.
That concludes the stories. Yeah. Hope you guys liked it. Our main source for this were the sagas, the Norse Sagas. Prozetta up in this motherfucker. Prozetta. Woo. But we got a really good book, the Norse Myths from Kevin Crossley Holland. Mm-hmm. Check it out. It has all the sagas in it, or all the main sagas in order.
Yeah.
And we're gonna, once we finish up Ragnarok, we're probably gonna start jumping into like the Vinland Saga and some other sagas like that.
Yeah.
Vinland Saga's hard.
God, how many
it's technically mythology, but it's also pretty much proven to have historical basis. Vikings in America. There's
only 8 more left.
There's only 8 more chapters left, folks. Yeah. So prepare yourself. Ragnarok is almost upon us.
It is.
And in life, that's a good advice to take in life. Just prepare yourself. Ragnarok is almost upon us. I don't mean that. It's not
That
coming.
was 2020, honey.
For at least another 7 chapters. It's not coming.
That was 2020.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah. Plus, the new Thor movie isn't even called Ragnarok, so we're safe.
Yeah.
We're safe.
Love and thunder.
Love and thunder, which is what I call my testicles. The left one's love, the right one's thunder.
Wow.
And the shaft is named Underwhelming.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, you folks have a good night. Tune in next week. We'll do some cool shit. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, tell your friends. You know, carve our stories into stone and leave them for future generations to dig up and be like, "What do you mean? Mengild wanted to fuck but had to go get a cigarette." I don't think that's the way the saga went.
Nah, it did.
No, it did. Yeah, you can't leave a Virginia Slim burning with all that linen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude, it's all packed in there.
It's all packed. You got packed linens.
Clay is gonna crack, man.
You got cracked clay.
You can't let that clay crack.
You can't let you can't overcook. You can't overkill the clay. God damn it.
For real.
Yeah.
That's what your house is made of, yo.
Yeah. Well, good night, everybody.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.